The accident happened moments later. As they climbed upward, a rock detached naturally from the cave ceiling above them. Falling freely from more than 15 meters high, it struck Johann directly in the head. The impact smashed through the outer shell of his helmet. Johann collapsed backward helplessly against the rope, hanging less than half a meter above the ground. Ulrich immediately removed the unconscious Johann from the rope system and moved him to a relatively safe location. 12 minutes later, Johann slowly regained consciousness, but his condition was extremely serious. At times he was lucid, at other times he rambled incoherently. His helmet had a massive hole punched through it, and he suffered a deep laceration on his head roughly the length of 2 fingers. He also experienced sudden convulsions. Ulrich and Thomas quickly realized Johann needed immediate hospitalization. The problem was that they were more than 900 meters underground. The two of them alone had no chance of carrying him out. Even worse, they had not brought specialized cave communication equipment. Before the expedition, one of the batteries had developed a minor issue, so they left the system behind. After discussing the situation, the two men decided that Ulrich, as team leader, would climb out to seek help, while Thomas stayed behind to care for Johann. Thomas volunteered with his hometown fire department, and as an experienced mountaineer, had already studied how to stabilize injured people for extended periods during emergencies until rescue arrived. But shortly after Ulrich departed, Thomas realized another serious problem. They only had half a liter of water left. The nearest water source required a round trip of an hour and a half. If Johann vomited and suffocated while Thomas was away, everything would be over. To make matters worse, the cave temperature hovered around 4 degrees Celsius. Without proper insulation, Johann could freeze to death before even finishing the remaining water. Thomas improvised with whatever materials he could find. Using a thermal blanket, ropes, and rocks, he built a crude temporary shelter for Johann. He boiled the remaining water with a gas stove and poured it into bottles so Johann could hold them for warmth. But the water shortage remained unresolved. What would truly determine Johann's survival was the route Ulrich chose to take. Before leaving the accident site, Ulrich had already been thinking about the problems of water and warmth. So instead of heading straight for the cave entrance after exiting the maze, he changed course to intercept Florian and Lana from the second group. Based on their planned route, they should have been near Night Silver Lake at that moment. If he could reach them before they moved on, the entire situation might change. His calculations proved correct. By the time an exhausted Ulrich arrived at the lake, Florian and Lena were just preparing to launch a kayak. After briefly explaining Johann's condition, the three immediately headed toward Camp 5.